Did you know that character backgrounds in D&D can greatly influence the storytelling? The 2024 rules may have replaced the old 2014 ones, but the importance of backgrounds haven't. And as you'll see, backgrounds leads to backstories, leads to good games. And you may still be using the 2014 rule set, that's fine. Where your choice of background provides you with role tables to pick your personality as a jumping off point to how you roleplay in the game. That's cool, yeah. And I really do like the flaws tables. I really like to make sure a player is playing to those flaws. They're gone in the 2024 rules. Instead, ability scores are increased. One of them by 2 and one of them by 1, or 3 skills go up by 1. You also, maybe controversially, you get a feat, and one which is chosen for you, but this is kind of an off-the-shelf template, just for your ease. So just bear with me a second before we start altering other things. You get 2 skill proficiencies and a tool proficiency, which automatically gives you those tools, not just the I'm able to use this really well, but I don't own them. You have the tools. And you can get to choose between your starting equipment or your 50 gold standard. And I guess that was how you went off and picked your own itemised build. But us DMs will welcome the conversation of, can I swap this out for this? Even though it doesn't say that. Yes, it's just functionally, you have this, do you want that or do you want to swap it out? Well, you have these 2 things, do you want that or do you want to swap it out? If you swap it out too much and you're playing a sailor, the conversation might come up, well, you're not really playing a sailor then, are you? Because what you really are is a hermit. But I'm just saying, have a dialogue with your DM. Now, research tells me there are over 50 off-the-shelf backgrounds for you to pick, and they are growing. But in here, these artworks are all you really need to just look at and picture who were you in this world? What's your imagination say you'd like to play? You could just dig deeper by looking at the text that goes along with each one. So as for the scribe's text box, it talks about growing up in a scriptorium or a government agency. See, the or, it's like you choose somewhere that you learn to write clear texts. You might have some skill as a writer of poetry, narrative, or scholarly research. These are ideas. They are not set in stone. The DM would welcome some backstory. You've probably heard tales of novella-length backstories. They don't get read. But just as bad is no backstory. I'm a rogue and I'm called Shadow. If they want to do that, that's fine. But many DMs, once they've cut the teeth a bit on these little adventures and they're getting into it and they want to give more to the players, we want to weave in who you're playing with our worlds. And we'll expect you to be able to answer a few burning questions, such as, why are you adventuring? What is the reason? What was your path to level 1? What is the future goal? Because look, behind the screen, we want the possibility of at least 1 or 2 of our players giving us ideas for an NPC, or a location, or at least a side quest for you and your character specifically. At least for each player who puts the effort in. As an example, let's look at the criminal background. You eked out a living in dark alleyways, cutting purses or burgling shops. Perhaps you were part of a small gang of like-minded wrongdoers who looked out for each other, or maybe you were a lone wolf fending for yourself against the local thieves guild and more fearsome lawbreakers. Finally, we learnt there that you must have an instinct for survival when it comes to living. It was perhaps crime or starvation. A gang is mentioned, so NPCs can be from that old gang, a rival gang, or a unknown gang mentality that will allow you to be the guy that the lords want to come and interview a prisoner from a gang or something. You have the insight, the mindset to talk to somebody that they don't. If you rose through gangs to thieves guilds, then maybe there's a history with the law that prohibits the player from entering certain towns, at least through the front gate. Perhaps that's what the HUD's for. They don't want to be recognised, they've got outstanding debts to pay. So there could be a quest giver that we provide you, who could want the criminal to maybe do something that they can't, under the radar, so to speak. And the party might want to not pay the costs in the general store and have that player steal the health potions, whereupon the store owner could be sympathetic towards that, or turn out to be an old friend or a rival criminal who's gone straight. We want to ask the players about their motives, traumas, potentially, successes along the way. If the adventure stumbles upon their family, who are those people? What does that look like from the party's perspective? But it's not about us writing the past only. We can write possible future ideas too. A soldier background might seek out an old comrade who might have changed their ways or doubled down. So UDMs should create a quest for each PC, at least a side quest, and possibly tie in 2 side quests together. I mean, just knowing the equipment that the players have, such as cartographer's tools, can inspire a quest. They might follow it, they might turn it down. But as long as DMs present a thread to the players, we've succeeded, we've done our job, we tried. DMs, don't be afraid to just outright ask your players if there's something you would enjoy doing with your character. Now, certain modules will have their own backgrounds, and that's another thing. That's where we get to session 0, which is probably the next video. Certain backgrounds make sense for certain quests. But why are they doing what they're doing? Who is their outer circle? And please, please want them to work as a team, because I'm sick to death of my party not working as a team.